Hey husbands, you need to check your wives. Hey everybody, it's Pastor Vince from Love City Church. It's Marriage March, and so we're posting content all month long to bless and encourage folks who are participating in the privilege of covenant marriage. You might be triggered, I hope not. Let's take a look at what the Bible says, because I believe wives should be able to also check their husbands. Why would I say that? 1 John chapter 1 says that he who says he has no sin deceives himself, and the truth is not in him. So first of all, what that tells us is every single person needs to be humble enough to say, sometimes I need to be checked. Couple that with Hebrews 10:24 that shows us that followers of Jesus are supposed to love each other enough to spur each other on to love and good works. And so there's this idea that as disciples of Jesus, as followers of Jesus, we want to be pushing each other towards Christ, challenging each other. And the premise here is that our spouse is the best person to do that. They're the closest one to us. They see us at our best. They see us at our worst. And there's nobody better to help us and to check us. But here's the reality. Oftentimes we don't have a culture within our marriage that allows for that. Oftentimes instead, there's this adversarial culture where we're not open with one another. We haven't invited one another to come in and to help us and to push us towards Jesus, to challenge us when we sin. Oftentimes we're looking at the plank in one another's eye, and if somebody brings up a concern, well, then 10 things from the past get drug out. That's not helpful or healthy. And so what do we do if that's what it looks like right now? Well, my encouragement is, husbands, you do need to go first. Ephesians 5 says you're supposed to love your wives like Christ loved the church, and Christ loved the church by giving himself up for her. He went first, he got the lowest in order to serve us who needed him. And so guys, I'm going to encourage you, husbands, you go first. You open the door wide, invite your wife to come in and to critique you, it's going to sting, man. It might hurt a little bit, but open up for her to say where she has concerns, where she sees that maybe there's sinful tendencies or proclivities that you have that you may not be aware of. The hope is that as you open the door to her, she's going to see the value of that and then open the door to you. And I'm not saying to do this to try to manipulate. I'm saying that if we have a desire to walk as husband and wife in the way that God intended, in a beautiful design where we're helping each other be more like Jesus, somebody has to do this. Somebody's got to open the door. Somebody has to be willing to go first. And so husbands, that should be you. Now, I know some guys out there are not going to like the fact that I said wives should be able to check their husbands, because they really like the verses in Ephesians that say, wives, submit to your husbands. But let me just address that real quick. If a man is wise enough and godly enough to understand that his wife is a gift from Jesus to help him to be more like Jesus, then he's going to open the door wide to her, and he's going to ask for her input. He's going to understand that sometimes she's going to see things he doesn't. And so she's going to just be doing what he's asked her to do, because he's humble and because he wants to be more like Jesus, and he's more concerned about that than he is about maintaining his pride or some facade. And so our hope is that this week you will get together, put the phones away, get where you're not distracted, discuss this, talk about the current culture of your marriage. Is it open for you to come to one another? Is it open for you to come and with grace and truth, speak the truth in love to one another? Are the doors open for that? If not, pray and open those doors. And we believe that God is going to be glorified and that people are going to have more joy as we walk this out.